I forgot one of the main principle when you do mechanic. If the damn thing's not broken, don't fix it. So I should have just leave these both and just send them with sandpaper. That would have done it, but now I'm in the process. I'm gonna keep going with it. So the main idea is that if you take a hole with a bolt, you got the hole. The thread is like you got the tip of the threads in the hole, and you got the core where the bolt will fit. So you want to kind of drill the middle part without damaging the thread on the female hole. So in order to do so, you drill, but it's very important that you drill in the center. So you take a lot of time to find the center on that thing. This is what's gonna make your life easier after that, because if you're not dead center, you might encounter some problem, and you definitely don't want to damage the outer the thread inside. So you want to drill but stay inside of the, you know, when you look on a threaded hole, like if I look at this one for example, right? So let me grab a screwdriver to show you. So what I'm trying to say is that you got the middle part here, the hole here, this diameter, but you also got a deeper diameter for the thread here. It's like a spiral. So when you drill, you want to stay free to damage the inner diameter here. So in order to do, and when you're gonna drill, what's gonna happen is you're gonna weaken the bolt that's broken, because it's gonna get the wall, since you're gonna grow the hole in the middle, the wall outside of the boat's gonna go thinner and thinner. So in the end, you might have just like a spring that is threaded in your hole. So that's the main idea. So you can see the bolt, how it broke. It's not nice, but that's the way it is. So now I'm gonna try to take my time with a center punch and get the dead center of that thing, and I'm gonna show you the different steps after that. So this is a bit what it looks like. From the camera view, looks like I can stretch it some more toward the bottom, and I will. The idea is you do small taps, and if your punch is not center, you try again, and then you can stretch it. Like in this case, I might you got to be careful. You don't look at the surface here that is shiny, you look at the outside of the round to see if you're centered. So right now I can stretch it a bit toward the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is, when you tap it straight, this is where you are, but if you want to stretch it, you go a bit sideways, and you go until you're happy with it. Then you're gonna be going straight. The same thing when you drill. When you're gonna start drilling, if your hole is not center, you can stretch it. When you drill, you want to check two angles. You want to check the angle like that, and you want to check the angle sideways. If you're good with the two angles, you're going to be perpendicular to your hole. So that's the center punch. Nothing really crazy, just to punch. Be also aware that this is aluminum and this is steel. So when you're going to try to take it out, I try a bit taking that part with a vice grip, but it's not really working, but it's good. I stopped playing with it because I'm gonna be able to use this diameter here with a vice grip to try to pull it out if I don't destroy it. So that's why I stopped playing around with it. So I'm gonna stretch a bit some more the hole toward the bottom, because right now it appears to me like it's too high in that direction, in fact. So I'm going to stretch it a bit toward the downside like that. So you can see the center now. I know there is still this hole here, but you can see the center is really It's this point here. You can see it's more dead center now. So it's gonna be time to start drilling this thing. We're gonna start with something small, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. Again, taking our time, making sure it's dead center. Else, as I said, we're gonna stretch it. The way to stretch it is you drill sideways in the direction you want to reach if it's not straight, if it's not dead center, I mean. Once you're good, then you pull back and you go straight perpendicular to the hole to drill. So that's the next step. So if we look at it, it's not so bad. It needs to be stretched a bit toward the left and toward slightly, yeah, mainly toward the left. Also, you got to be careful when you drill, if you go sideways, not to damage this surface here. So if we look at it, it's pretty centered now. So now it's a matter of making this hole all the way through, making sure to be in the same axis as the bolt. Again, you always look 2 angles, but these angles got to be compared to the top surface where it screws. So in this case, everything is like bended, right? So it's like rounded and everything. So you got to make sure toward this surface here in the corner, because this is where the head of the boat sits. So this is what I got to do now. So this is what we have at this moment in time. It's a deep hole. In fact, we want the depth of the hole to be about the thickness here, because we just want to weaken that part. So this is pretty good so far. It's kind of really dead center, and it's a straight hole. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna increase the diameter of that hole, because in the end what we'd like to have is to be close to the threads here. I would say, sorry about that, this screwdriver is now magnetized. I would say we'd like to go about toward the tip of the screwdriver. We'd like to leave it like 1/32 of an inch or 1/64 of an inch. That would be good enough. To pick up your chip of steel, it's really working well if you're using a magnet. You go by it and it's just gonna pick everything up. So now I'm gonna increase that size. I would say between 3/16 of an inch or maybe a quarter. I will see what fits best, and I'll show you right after. In order to make my life easier, I drilled 3/16 of an inch from 1/8. Now it's gonna be 1/4 inch. So on drilling the 1/4 inch, we can see that what we wish for start to happen. The I don't know if you can see, but there's a spiral that start to pull up. This is our thread that is of the boat that is giving away. So I can try now to either maybe drill a bit smaller, but first I'm gonna try with a vice grip on this thing here. I'm gonna try to unscrew it, like keep screwing it deep down. Maybe I'll be lucky enough that this thing is gonna get out. It's not strong enough. work. We need to keep drilling. Let's try again, now that the hole is deep. Oh, that seems like a success to me. Now it's turning with it. That's quite strong for a vice grip. The reason I didn't use heat like torch or stuff like that to take it out is this is aluminum, and if you heat too much aluminum it loses lots of its strength, mechanical strength, maybe like 70% of it or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I can try to remove this thread here, thread that's going away with it. So now it's about inspection time, trying to make sure we're good with our hole. I think it's the case. I think we're pretty good. Don't think we damage anything. I'm gonna show you. It's a bit hard to see, but I'll try to show you. If we look, you can see the threads in there. It's a bit hard to see, but you should be able to see them. They're good all along. You still have a bit of that broken thread that's still there. Here on top, what you see is there is like a portion where you don't see the threads, but this is the remaining of the bolt, or the stud if you'd like. So now it's just a matter of taking this thing out. So either you go with a little pick or with a screwdriver, remove that thing. You might want to put a tap through it if you feel like it's very bad, just to make sure. But if you're gonna do a tap in there, you gotta make sure that you're gonna get in line with the threads that were there before. You don't want to have crushed thread, so it's gotta go through the threads that were there before. So this is how you fix this kind of thing. So that side of the thread is pretty good. The other side is not so good. So I'd like to get a tap in there, but the tap is interfering with that bolt. So we got a bad experience, but I'm gonna try to remove that one. I'm gonna put some never sees here on this side. Hopefully it's gonna work. I'm gonna let it work for maybe a minute or two. You gotta make sure you got the right tap for that. The tap is 8mm. M8 by 1.25, so you got to check the diameter with a good bolt and also the thread. So the way to do so is you put your tap, you try to put it inside of the thread of the bolt. If you got the same, then it's good. Okay, it was working fine until I stripped the Torx head. I tried to punch hexagonal bit in there, but we're not able to punch it deep enough. This is very often how you can get around this thing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drill, same thing, I'm gonna drill here. Hopefully once the head will fall off, if I can make the head to fall off, maybe I'll be lucky enough that with some vice grip I can just screw it back in. If I can do that, then I'm gonna be good, because it's kind of stuck. But on the last portion to take it out here, you can see the threads are now clean. It's working pretty good. So yeah, I would say that don't take out these boats. Very good advice, I would say, unless you really have to, and then you're up for a good challenge. Okay, drilled to up to 5/16 of an inch, which is almost 8 millimeters. So the head fell off. The head is right there. It's a bit hot at this moment. So now I'm gonna remove the two bolts, hook the caliper that it was before with the wood blocks, so I'm gonna be able to work from within with a vice grip, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to screw that thing this way and get it out. That's the idea. So drilled it, same process. Gonna save time on the others. I'm gonna drill them right away. I'm just gonna make sure I got a little clearance with the like the bolt is a bit unscrewed. So the head of the bolt here broke. Well, this is sorry, not the head of the bolt, but the remaining inside. I'm trying to show you this. Yeah, right here. You can see. Let me put a screwdriver through it. So I'll put the screwdriver through it. It's going to be easier for you to see it. So the other side of the bolt broke. So now I have to use another tool that is very useful for these kind of situation. This is this kind of thing here. So that you insert it in the hole, you tap it with a hammer, and you use a Westcott or a key or a vice grip, and you try to unscrew it. This slip here is gonna bite into it. There's 4 of those. So that's the idea. I drill in the end 7/32 of an inch on this one. So if I see that it slips, I'm gonna go with 1/4 inch again. So that worked. It's working. In fact, if you look, it's turning. Hopefully it's gonna keep working. I can remove the vice grip here. You can go by the tip like that. So here it is. We got this one. So now we got this thread now should be clean. So we got room now to insert the tab for the other one. That's what we're gonna do right now. You want to make sure you're straight with your hole. So get yourself a good setup. So right now I'm inserting it by hand with long nose. This is maybe what I can do best for now. Yeah, that works. One good trick to know if you're in line, you can use the other hole. That gives you a very good idea. You gotta make sure you're not gonna go crossways. That should clean the remaining of the first boat that was sticking there. Could be good to put a bit of oil in there. Now I gotta go inside. You gotta go back and forth with this thing. You don't want to break the tap in there. This is the last thing we need. So with the tap going a bit in, a bit out. And then releasing it. Coming from this way. You can see that the tap is now pushing out this remaining thread. Now it starts to work. I would not say easy, not quite with your hand, but it's working good with the long nose enough, so it accelerates the process. So we're gonna keep going, and this bushing thread, remaining kind of bushing, is gonna get out quite soon. So that's what was left. There's some side of it that was a big chunk. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the tap in this hole, but from outside it's going to work better. Just to clean it, to remove all the red kind of stuff that stays there. To remove this bolt here, on the rear of the caliper, the hose, hydraulic hose, was going here. So the chuck of the drill was in the way and it was dangerous to grind it. So I just elected to remove the caliper. So when you remove caliper, lots of people, what they do is they are pinching the hose with vice grip. And it's not advised. I'm going to fix this caliper by removing the 4 bolts. So I got 2 removed actually. There's hydraulic oil in the caliper, so if I'm gonna flip it all around, it's possible it's gonna drip. So I'd rather try not to move it too much. The best way I found to do so is like I did the last hose, the last bolt, sorry. So drilling 5/16 of an inch to take off the head, then drilling smaller inside and using the extractor tool. That seems to be working very good. So I'm gonna drill up to 7/32 of an inch, and that should be enough to remove this bolt. And then there's only one left after that to be removed up front here. So if you look, there's two remaining. The 2 others are gone, and the threads is it's a bit hard to see, but the threads are good actually. So drilling through 7/32 of an inch, then breaking it with the vice grip because it's thin walled, and inserting that extractor in and unscrewing it. That's what works magic. I know magic sounds weird for a hard time, but then I'm gonna be doing this one and then the last one to be done. we go, done deal. I'm just gonna check the hole. If it's not good enough, I'm just gonna pass the tap through it. Yeah, there's some dirt in there. So I'm gonna try to shook it off, and worst case scenario, just repass the tap through it. And this is done. Now just one remaining.